Hello, Perfect Death here, and this is Starsector. This is I'm actually just gonna adjust my volume just a little bit. Yeah, sure, let's just mute the music volume. So this is a game that every now and then I'll play and then come back to in about a year because the developer likes to update it gradually. So this is kind of a fleet management combat space game, and honestly, keep adding more and more and more to it. Like you can go out and colonize planets. You can, and some of the RPG mechanics actually just got overhauled quite a bit. I'll probably just start there. So when your character levels up, normally you'd just be able to invest points and you would start off leveling up one of these main tiers, and you could level them up to 3 times, and then that would let you upgrade the skills. And you'd have to, if you wanted like a tier 2 or tier 3 of a skill, you'd have to have the main tier thing here. I also have the Rona. Hooray. And one of the main changes that they did is they gave it so that you get the full up tier of a skill instead of having to get 3 different tiers unlocked for it. But then they've also gated, so you have to get like the first one of the first 2, and then you can move on to the next pair, and then the next pair, and then the next pair. And if you want the other one, then you have to get a complete all the way over here, and then you can go back and get the second one. So I started off doing the industry tab. Yeah, ticklish throat. And a big part of that is just economy stuff. One of the really nice passives here that I don't recall this skill being here before, so I think that they adjusted what some of these skills do. This one will actually remove degraded mods, demods, from ships over time. So every month or every 2 months, you'll lose a degraded mod, and that over time is actually really nice. And then I've of course gone back to get some more, so now I got like extra cargo capacity. I didn't really go into the combat skills too much. I decided to power into the economy stuff first. So like I get more industrial supply from colonies, which I haven't colonized yet. I'm close to being in a good position to colonize. I just got to find a really good system. And also of note, some of these skills you can make elite, and an elite skill you spend a story point, and you'll gain these story points over time as you do stuff. And there's a bunch of different things you can do with them in game, and then there's some things you can do to like upgrade your character's skills. So this one here gives a bonus to the amount of repair that happens after combat for free. So and then there's some other ones, like this one here will give you a speed boost if you have no flux on your ship, or like leading accuracy, things like that. And let's actually show off some ships. I've been going around the map looking for things, and I actually ended up finding some of these fancy ships. I found this one. Let's actually go into the refit screen for it. This is a battle cruiser, and he's got these green mods. Now these ones you can actually get by either building it in and using story points, but this one came with 2 already in it, so it was a really lucky find. It has some degraded mods, but those degraded mods have, because of that passive, they've gone away. So now this is a rather strong ship. And in this game, you can swap out the different parts on your ship for different weapons based on how much ordnance points you've got available here. Is there anything? Yeah, let's get 4. There we go. So now it's got some point defenses on them. You can set to like what weapon number these are, because when you go and control this, the various different, like I'll have with this ship, usually I'll just manually control the torpedo barrage, and then I'll just let the AI control all of these other weapons. So this ship has like split in half, and he's got broadside weapons on the left and the right. And there are some pretty useful things you can do, like some different changes you can make to your design. One of the other designs that I've seen is an asymmetric one, where you put really big and expensive guns on one side, and then you just put like flak weapons on the other side, and you only really broadside from that strong side, and then the other side is just there for like flak, shooting projectiles and fighters down. This is a mixed one, so this one can actually engage pretty balanced on both sides. I've also got some like auxiliary thrusters to help with my rotation speed. This ship also has an activatable ability that'll give it more maneuverability for a short period of time. And then I very recently got this battle cruiser, and I actually have a captain for it that I got who has a strike commander passive, which makes his fighters do more damage. And he's got these like torpedo bombers and heavy fighters. And then I've set up this ship. I actually found a second one, but unfortunately it didn't come with any parts on it, and I didn't feel like spending all the money to repair it. So currently I haven't actually used this. I just recently got it repaired up, and it's still loaded with a bunch of these mods, these bad mods that eventually they'll go away. But and so I've got a couple other ships that I've been picking up along the way. So as you go along, you'll loot stuff. Your fleet will require supplies per day, fuel to move around in hyperspace. There's also some other things like heavy machinery, for example, will be... I need this if I want to like survey worlds or salvage stuff. So my fleet's actually quite good at salvaging, and so I can go out into space and I can salvage a bunch of stuff, and then hopefully that'll keep my available money afloat. I also find these AI cores. I'm gonna keep the alpha cores, but I'll definitely want to like sell off some of these other cores here. And one of the neat things that they added were these colony mods. Like you can you can get these and you can put them into your colonies. They didn't have these really before. There was like a nano forge, which would boost the production of spaceship hulls that were produced on a world, which made it more money. But some of these are actually quite interesting. Like this one here lets you increase the farm output, but you cannot put it on a planet that has transplutonic ore or volatiles. And then you have like this one here, which can only be put on a gas giant and makes more volatiles. This one here, just you can put it on a planet and you make more colony income. And then this one's actually really weird, where it causes the planet to consume 10 units of volatiles. I'm not really sure how that works. I'm guessing like this one here produces a surplus of 3, so if you were to get a gas giant that was able to produce 10 or more volatiles, then it could maybe support that. But what this does is it actually gets rid of the cold, extreme cold, poor light and darkness effects on planets. and that might be useful. Either way, it's I've been keeping these stocked up just in case. Who knows? For sure, like this one's just, well, this one here is just generally gonna be good. This one could be useful if you find a good gas giant in system to provide a bunch of fuel. And then this one for farming if you get a lucky roll on a really good farm world. So let's see, I think, yeah, if we go here, this is most of the like all of the civilizations are actually just in this middle cluster here. Let's actually go to the sector view. So yeah, all these ones with names, they're occupied by some faction. There are some like pirate factions out here. The pirates will like to send raids over, and then a bunch of it is just unexplored space. And I've been going around and I've been exploring some of these planets. Yellow stars potentially are good. Honestly, they sometimes seem too young to be good. Some planets, like these are the planets that have more habitability. This one doesn't have any planets in it. That's why I just completely skipped it. This one has 2, right? Orange planets I generally had more luck with, but actually went up to this corner because I had good luck with this on a previous one. But unfortunately with this, it's got like hot, extreme weather. It's habitable, right? So it would be only a plus 25 on its hazard rating, but it's got like just the 1 resource modifier. And then like this one here, it's got 2, but neither are really that good. And then this one here is also like a high gravity one. So even though he's got 3 mineable resources and a farm resource, it's that high gravity is nasty. So the accessibility stat actually determines how well the colony grows. So potentially, like these are 3 habitable worlds, but they're not very good habitable worlds. If you do get, like, if you were to colonize this, they would be able to produce you'd be able to have each planet spawning their own patrol fleets, and they would all patrol around in system, which is actually really strong for defending against raids from other factions, and especially the very frequent pirate raids. So it's not a horrible idea to go and colonize a planet like this. It's just you'd have to, you wouldn't have the best resource possibilities, but it would be a very defensive system to go into. So, but aside from that, you can always just search for stuff. So I could just go like hazard rating, and you can see here there's a bunch that are already occupied, but you can go like uninhabited, unclaimed, right? And then you can see here like there's a tundra planet here that's got, it's cold, and so I have something that can actually remove that debuff, but resource wise nothing too fancy. I could put that like farm module onto this one because it's got it can produce food, it doesn't have transplutonic ore or volatiles, and it mines a good amount of organics. So it could be a neat planet, but I think this one is just like sitting all on its own as a tundra world. Could also do the same with this one. That one's like a -1. This one's not. So this one is, yeah, slightly better. Doesn't have the ruins. But yeah, you can. My main thing right now is that I'm just exploring around, finding a bunch of the different planets, looking up their resources that they have available for them, and then figure out if I want to actually get one colonized. There are some like Terran-like worlds out there that are really good. but who knows? So far I haven't actually found any like that. I think, because I want to go out and do something. Let's see, what do we got for bounties? So there's a pirate base up there. 134 days, right? So if I had 1,141 fuel, I could get there. 25 days. So I can go up there and I can go and like pick a fight with these pirates, destroy their station, get paid 30k. It's quite the distance to go. I definitely could get enough fuel for that. I'm sort of looking around at what some of my options are. There's also some bounties over here, right? Like this one is 30-day bounty left. So we definitely could look at, zooming over here to go and like pick out some pirate bounties. I am at least strong enough now to be able to beat most of these bounties. And then, yeah, there's like a guy down here. Because one of the things is that if I'm going to go and explore an area, I'd like there to be some kind of mission available there. So, for example, there's like, if I wanted to go and explore up in this region, well, there's a derelict ship up here, and I could get 60k for going up there. And then over there, there's a domain survey ship. And I think there's a domain mothership over here, right? So that's actually really good to loot. That's actually where I got quite a few of those colony mods. And yeah, like I think there was a survey ship here that I went to, maybe, or no. I was really weak at this stage and I went over here and I found some stuff, but oh no, there's a neutron star there. That's why. So I think I did find the survey ship. But yeah, this is a neutron star, and those are kind of dangerous to fly around. You have to use planets as like cover to like prevent the neutron star's beam from blasting you. And so let's see, I wonder what would be the closest thing. Actually, I think what I can do just to show off combat quickly, the retrofit, go over here, run simulation. Right, so then I can go in and I can be like, okay, let's do a simulation. There we go. So when you're in battle, you got your controls up here. You can hit different buttons. Right? These are like heat-seeking missiles that I got. Nope, ion guns. Yeah, so his ion guns knocked out some of my weapons for a little bit. They'll repair in a while, but yeah. This guy behind me is being a pain in the butt. There we go. Yeah, and just one left. Except my my flux is getting pretty high, so unfortunately, let's try and vent my flux a little bit here. Yeah, so my flux built up too much, and if my flux goes up all the way, then I'll get stunned. So. I'm not too sure what happens there. He must have something that's countermeasuring my my missiles, my torpedoes, because those are unguided. They really shouldn't be moving. So I think he was doing something that like deflects missiles. There we go. He's being annoying, isn't he? How much do I have left? Should have enough, but yeah, he's gonna play the kiting game now. There we go. Let's race up to him. Come on, let's go. Yeah, he's doing something that's messing with my torpedoes. And there we go. Now, you can get really big fleet fights going on in this game, where you end up with a bunch of your ships. You let the AI control them. The AI is actually really smart in this game. I've seen them, like, this guy did time his anti-shield missiles, because he had these missiles that do good damage against shields, and he was timing them right for when I got very high on flux, so the AI saw that, and he changed his behavior and got very aggressive because of it, which, you know, because I'm in a bigger ship, I was just able to phase tank that. But sometimes you can get yourself really in trouble if you're not paying attention. And like when I was in my smaller craft, I'd have to be a lot more careful, as you can get messed up very quickly, especially if stuff is using torpedoes. Like this, I have torpedoes on it specifically because, you know, this does good damage against shields, and so does this. And so when you get the enemy's shields up, then you can just fire a big salvo of torpedoes, and he either chooses to take it with his shield and overload, which then leaves them unable to use any of their weapons, slows them down. They can still move a little bit, but makes them a very big target. They can't use a shield until their overload is cleared. Or you can wait until you maybe overload them, but usually the AI will start flickering their shield on and off if you're putting pressure on them and their flux is very high, and they'll usually try to pull out and get some distance. And then their teammate, like the other ships in the area, will often come by to try and like push themselves in between to try to pull your aggro away from them, and then that allows the other guy to pull back, vent his flux, get his flux down low, and then he'll come back into the fight. So you can see some pretty neat tactics go on that even the AI is really smart about using. In one case I was fighting a robot faction. They're the guardians for like some of the domain survey ships and stuff, and they don't have shields, but they're very tanky, armored, and they've got this activatable ability that locks them into just going straight, but they go really fast. And they would use that to try and ram me. Now, before, they didn't used to be that aggressive. So the devs, looks like they've made the AI for that more aggressive. Because I've never seen them try to, like, ram to that extent before. I've seen some of the other AI factions do that with, like, bigger ships. Like this guy actually does have that that charged attack where he just lunges forwards. So I actually can just show that off. Let's, yeah, there we go. Boom, 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 boom. So this is actually a carrier, but it's got a whole bunch of these guns on him. So yeah. Now, and then ramming speed, boom. So yeah, you can do some pretty crazy stuff. I think I was firing those missiles a bit too close, because these missiles in particular here, they burst into a cluster of anti-armor missiles. That's what this one and this one are. They are these anti-missile or anti-armor missiles. But yeah, those definitely not good point-blank missiles. They're kind of designed to be shot at this sort of medium range. So the idea behind this ship is that it's got these triple autocannons that are good against shields, and then it'll have these missiles here that are good against armor. And then he's got a bunch of torpedo bombers, which will melt hull. So as your ship takes damage, you can see over in this bottom left corner here, green means full armor. Because I rammed something, I just stripped off all the armor, so then that just exposes the hull. But I didn't really take any hull damage. My ram, I think, just disabled his front-firing guns, so that he wasn't actually able to shoot much into the exposed hull. So there's the there's a couple of really scary ships for that. I think it's in, I'm trying to remember. Is it in near? Oh yeah, Codex. There's the Codex. So you can go like ship hulls, and you can actually see the stats on all the different ships in the game, right? Trying to remember what I was just fighting. One of these ones. Right, I've got a Legion. There we go, the Onslaught. So the Onslaught is like a really heavily armored, high hull battleship that also has that ramming ability as well, the burn drive ability. So this guy is definitely scary for doing that. He's not very fast normally, so you actually usually use his burn drive to move around. But yeah, this thing is a bit of a tank. Doesn't have good shields on him, but he has a very strong kinetic weapons suite with a really nasty ram. And then yeah, you have some other like crazy examples of stuff which I can't remember the name of them. But yeah, you have like high-tech laser-focused ships. You have, you know, carrier-focused ships. You have, yeah, some of these like hybrid ones. And yeah, there are some new ones as well. Like I haven't seen this champion class heavy cruiser before. So the devs have added a fair bit of new stuff to the game with the current version, and yeah, you can do quite a lot of stuff here, but I'm getting close. Like I say, eventually I'll start up a colony once I explore some more of the map. Right now I've only really explored this little area and then this area over here, so I think that'll be it for this video. Take care.